ICBC is a scam and there's not enough videos about it. I've just had a shit experience and I figured I'd tell a whole bunch of strangers on the internet about it. Maybe you've had bad experiences too? Anyways, if you're not in BC, ICBC is the Insurance Corporation of British Columbia. It is basically an insurance company owned by the BC government. They administer car insurance, driver's licenses, vehicle registration, stuff like that here in BC. I pay about $2,000 a year to these people to ensure that if I ever get into something crazy on the roads, especially when it is not my fault, I'd be covered. Well, I fucking got into something. This right here is a hole in my oil pan, right? So think about where your engine oil goes, the actual reservoir that holds your engine oil in your car. And how did I get here, you might be wondering. I was on my way home around 9 p.m. on Tuesday this week. I was driving north on Highway 1. This was somewhere around Brunette Avenue. Anyways, I'm driving when all of a sudden I see the car directly in front of me goes over something on the ground. I see it. It is a sheet of metal of some sort just sitting there in the center lane of the highway. Like, what the hell, right? So this thing looked like it had some sort of protruding metal sticking out of it. Enough for me to be concerned, right? So I was concerned it could puncture my tires. Now I'm going 90 kilometers an hour or something like that. It's the highway at night. We're all going fast, right? So the car right in front of me goes over the metal. For me, my immediate reaction is, okay, I want to try and get out of the way. Now, there's a car behind me. I'm in the middle lane and there's cars on both sides. So essentially, I had to make a decision to either try to maneuver and possibly cause a big accident, because we're all going fast, or try and see if my car can clear this thing. So I center my car, and as I go past, the metal misses my tires, but I feel a jolt underneath the car as the metal presumably hits the bottom of my car. And I keep trying. Of course, I kept on driving because, I mean, what do you do, right? I kept driving and I'm thinking, that was close. Well, minutes later, my low oil pressure light comes on and I just know something really bad has happened. I can see the low oil pressure light, and before long, I can hear something dragging under my car, right? Now, I'm not stopping on the highway with people flying by at like 9 p.m. I'm not far away from my house at this point, so I drive my car home. Anyways, I get home, I park the car, I pop the hood of my car. The moment I saw the oil just everywhere, like after I popped the hood, there was just black stuff everywhere, I just knew. I just knew I'd fucked up, right? So I get underneath the car and I see there's oil just guzzling out. There's a big hole in my oil pan, as I told you before, and the entire underside of my car has been ripped open by this metal somehow. So at this point, I'm like, well, that sucks. I'll call the mechanic tomorrow. That's what I thought. So and get things sorted, right? Well, I call the mechanic. I tell them what I see and ask for a quote. They got back to me after like 2 hours. Yeah. What they tell me is that this particular repair, so changing out my oil pan, is going to cost me $2,000. Roughly $1,000 for the pan, for some reason, and another $1,000 for labor. Now, bear in mind, my car is a 2006 Mazda 3, so it's really old. Like $2,000 is a lot of money to spend on a car I bought for like $3,500, right? So I don't like what the mechanic is saying to me. So I call another one, and this one says they can probably do it for like $1,700. Now that's a lot of money in this economy, and I don't have that kind of money. Also, like recently, I only just changed my alternator like a month ago or something, and that one cost me like $700. So I'm really not in the mood to spend that kind of money right now. So I decide, okay, I'll file a claim with ICBC. I've done nothing wrong. I've paid my insurance diligently for the last 3 years or whatever that I've owned this car. Mind you, my deductible is like $1,000. So they'd only need to cover me for like $1,000, right? So like this is not even half of what I paid on my premium, right? It should be easy. So I called them up and they quizzed me for like 20 minutes. Where did it happen? You know, how did it happen? Who was driving? Then they start asking me whether I have other scratches on the car. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's a 2006. It's a 2006 car. Like, it has seen some shit. Like, so, but I was like, well, that's not what I'm asking you to fix, though. That's not your concern. Like, I've got this big giant hole in my oil pan. Like, how? Like, talk to me about that. Anyway, so they asked me if I have a dash cam. I don't. Right? which is kind of, and now I think about it, I should totally get a dash cam at this point, right? So at that point, I'm like, okay, why are you wasting my time internally? I don't say this to the person. Anyways, the lady comes back and tells me I'll have to take the car in to a shop to get it inspected and all of that stuff. And obviously, I'll pay my $1,000 deductible. They'll cover the rest, but get this. They said my premium will go up $450 because they deemed I was at fault for the damage. Yeah. So they said what they said was this, right? They said it was a stationary object and I hit it. You know what totally even pissed me off even more? They said my insurance will probably cost an extra $3,000 over the next 10 years. I said, they were really calling this my fault. Like how? Literally the only option I had was to cause a huge accident on Highway 1. Did I mention I also had my wife in the car? Like, what was I supposed to do? Like, get off the phone with ICBC. Now, it occurred to me, like, tell me this is not everybody's experience with ICBC. If it is, no wonder there have been so many calls to break their monopoly and allow private companies to get into the insurance market here in BC. Like, bloody hell. Like, it's funny too, like, this is just like Canada because, think about it. We get terrible prices on phone plans because there's literally no competition. And just don't get me started on like WestJet and Air Canada and the bullshit with the airlines. So that sucked. Yeah. What's my plan? Well, let me tell you. I know next to nothing about cars. I'm a chemist. But I've gone on YouTube. I've seen some videos. I'm going to go to a scrapyard, maybe a pick and pull somewhere. I don't know. Get a new pan. I could maybe get a new pan off a scrap car or something for like $25. One of my friends has offered to maybe try and help me weld my current one, but I don't know that with that size of a hole, I don't know how good a weld is going to hold, but we'll see. It shouldn't be too crazy from what I've seen off YouTube, but I know those are, I don't know, famous last words or something. Did I mention it's also like 1 degree outside where I am right now? So that should be fun. And if you're, before I forget, if you're that person who was driving down Highway 1 on Tuesday, the 26th of November, and didn't think to tie down your metal load in your car, and you fucking ruined my car, I hope you have a shit Christmas and an even shittier New Year. Like, I hope you find out that your wife has been shagging a Jamaican guy called Patty with the 12-inch cock. Like, and I'm only half joking about that last part. Like, anyways, maybe I'll make a how to fix an oil pan video on this channel once I figure out how to fix this thing. Now, this is not the type of content I make here, but fuck it. And fuck you, ICBC. Bye, guys.